November 8th, 2023 marks the 10-year anniversary of the cult classic indie game Risk of Rain, and by extension, the release of its remaster, Risk of Rain Returns. By the end of this video, you'll walk away knowing whether this game is worth the $12.75 it's currently on sale for, and whether you should buy it. As of recording this voiceover, the game still hasn't released, so let's ask our good friend Jack Ray from the future. Is the game good?
Chef! Oh, this is gonna be a good game. That's all I needed to see.
Oh my god. Okay, it's fine. I'll just do it myself. If you're new to Risk of Rain, the core gameplay loop goes a bit like this. You pick one of 15 survivors, each with unique skills and abilities, and enter the world of Petrichor 5 via dropship, given only a single directive: find the teleporter. This is much easier said than done, as you have an entire planet's worth of monsters, ghouls, and goblins waiting to fuck your day up as you explore the stage, looting chests to collect items and grow in strength. After finding and activating the teleporter, you are given your only other directive: survive. For 90 seconds, you have to defeat the boss that the teleporter spawns and hold out against the onslaught of enemies the game throws at you. Should you succeed, you advance to the next stage to do it all again, killing baddies, looting chests, until yada yada yada, you fight God. Obviously. While it seems simple when you lay it out like this, the crux of the entire game and what will end up driving the decisions you make is that difficulty scales with time, and if you die, you start from the very beginning. So sure, you could take your time and farm up as many items as you want, but at the cost of the game spawning more silly little lizard friends to ruin your day. Frankly, this game is hard, and you're forced to make choices quickly, which doesn't always work. Let me correct myself. Very frequently does not work out. But honestly, what makes this game pixelated black tar heroin is the power fantasy it lets you live out. It doesn't cap out on anyone's power, but that goes both ways. This game doesn't pull its punches, sure, and most of the time, you're fighting an uphill battle. But then comes along the God Run. And instead of this guy being the final boss, it's you instead. The disparity between how powerful you are at the start versus the end of a run is what's going to have you slamming that try again button at 3 a.m. Also, you should consider slamming that like, subscribe button, okay? Thank you. So, with that out of the way, let's dive a little deeper into what the game offers and why I think it's worth buying. First big point being, every run is different, with something unique to offer and enjoy. As I've mentioned previously, there are 15 unique survivors that cater to different playstyles and have their own strengths. They all benefit differently from the items that drop, and exploring what survivors' abilities synergize well with what items is probably my favorite aspect of the game. You are forced to adapt based on what the game decides to throw at you, and this uncertainty will keep the game feeling fresh whether you are 2 hours or 200 hours in. Another point for the game is that it lets you figure things out on your own. In this day and age of mini-maps, waypoints, and quest markers, it's refreshing to have the game drop you into the world and tell you, I don't know man, figure it out. When you first open up the game's logbook, you'll see that you have a lot to unlock, and you could look up a guide or tutorial on how to unlock a survivor or item, but you would be robbing yourself of a large part of what makes this game great. Finding a hidden secret is exciting because you did it completely on your own without an in-game GPS telling you every turn to take. And if you see something out of reach, you'll figure out how to get there, trust me. If you're patient, the payoff is absolutely worth it. This game gives the player space to explore the planet, searching for secrets, and really makes you feel like Spider-Man. This concept also extends outside of gameplay and into its world building. This game chooses to house the story throughout logbooks and item descriptions. I know you Souls fans out there are probably creaming your jorts right now hearing that. There are hundreds of these journal entries to read, and each are carefully crafted and shed some light on what role you're playing in this journey. And spoiler alert, you are not the hero. Outside of the aforementioned core gameplay loop, there is a mode in Risk of Rain Returns that I believe is worth mentioning, Providence Trials. In stark contrast to the sometimes hours-long journeys you can embark upon, these are brief vignettes that unlock new items and abilities for characters through various challenges. Sometimes it's holding off a wave of enemies, others it's a difficult platforming sequence. All in all, a fun change of pace that still helps unlock content. Now, this game isn't without its faults, and I feel like it would be disingenuous for me to just keep glazing up Hopu like I have been for the past 4 minutes. These things are not deal breakers by any means, but they are issues that I believe are worth mentioning. Since this game is 2D, your options for moving around the screen can be somewhat limited based on your current survivor and build. So if something is flying and you don't have an ability or item to reach it, well, good luck, Charlie. This also ties into my next point, which is that some of the pain points from the original kind of bleed over into the remaster, clunky controls being the main one of them. While I commend the game for giving multiple options for keyboard players, I'm a bit frustrated that you can only aim based on the direction you were moving when you started attacking. This little cursor on the screen that is used in other games for, I don't know, aiming, does absolutely nothing during gameplay and does not actually determine which way you're shooting. As of editing this video, I confirm there is a patch on the way to remedy this issue, so I'll give Hopu some points back for this one, but basic control issues like this really should not be a thing in 2023. Finally, full disclosure, this one may be a genuine skill issue, but the game's hardest setting, Monsoon, is a pretty big spike in difficulty. I fully expect this to change once everyone gets a few more hours into the game, but it can feel like there's just way too much ground to cover and way too many enemies on a stage for just really not enough items. Again, really expect my feelings on this to change with experience, but runs feel very driven by RNG on Monsoon at the moment. To put a bow on it, let's review a quick list of pros and cons. Pros, this game is a great price, and I think you will squeeze a surprising amount of hours out of it. There's a ton of replayability with different survivors and builds. It's multiplayer with up to 4 people, really good to enjoy with friends. This might be personal preference, but I think the pixel art is gorgeous. This game has great style, and the music, oh my god. The game's composer, Chris Christodoulou, just absolutely killed it. As for the cons, controls can be a little annoying at times, and if you're buying this game to solely play on the hardest difficulty, you should expect a pretty steep learning curve. Overall, this game is absolutely worth buying, and even though I have some minor gripes about it, Hopu is very engaged with the community, and I do not doubt in the slightest that they are working to balance and improve the game. But that's the video. You deserve this. Did you find this review helpful? Have you played the game yet? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and if you want to support the channel, consider leaving a like or subscribing. Talk to y'all soon. See ya.